Sometimes in your training journey, you'll stumble upon or you will implement an exercise, and within a couple of weeks, you will find that that exercise tends to have profound results, and you feel like you have discovered something earth-shattering. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 bodyweight exercises which can be incorporated into either a weight training regime or just a straight up high rep bodyweight routine in order to make the experience more profound, more productive, and allow you to build the work capacity, the strength and the physique in which you can then decide that this exercise is something that you are going to stick with for the rest of your training journey. Now, the first exercise is the inverted row. The inverted row is a phenomenal exercise. The reason being is that it allows for a scapular retraction and allows you to incorporate a ton of volume within a training regime. The added bonus of the inverted row is that it will also allow you to progress onto the more meatier movement, in my opinion, which is the pull-up or the chin-up. Now, my own experience with inverted rows was quite eye-opening. I was doing Jim Wendler's 531 a couple of years ago. It was a program called 531 for hard gainers, and between sets of whichever exercise I was doing at any given time, I would do between 10 and 20 inverted rows. And within a couple of weeks, I started to notice that my back was getting bigger, particularly my upper back. And the reason being is that your back can handle a ton of volume. I like to look at muscles with regards to size. If a muscle is big, then you can probably destroy it with more volume and get more sets and reps in. And the inverted row allows this to be the case. Now, with the inverted row, I would suggest that if you are lifting weights, you will incorporate 10-20 inverted rows in between sets. Inverted rows can be used with rings or a bar set up in a power rack. However, what you can also do is load these exercises with either a weighted vest or a weighted belt. Once you start hammering in high rep inverted rows into a workout routine, you are going to notice some meatiness start to spread itself across the back. So the inverted row is definitely an exercise which I consider to be overpowered in some respects. Exercise number 2, and this is probably my favourite exercise, it is the chin-up or the pull-up. The chin-up and the pull-up has such an amazing effect on your physique and overall strength. Now, little story here. When I was a young lad, I moved into a student flat and the previous tenant had left a chin-up bar. And when I moved into the flat, I attempted a chin-up and I couldn't even muster the strength to move a couple of inches, never mind get my chin over the bar. And it was very humbling, almost embarrassing. And what happened was I took on the challenge of mastering the chin-up at that point. I wasn't going to let this exercise beat me. And what I would do is I would hang from the bar and try and get used to just that position, mastering body weight, feeling the load on the shoulders as you stretched. And over time, I managed to build up to a chin-up. Then that chin-up turned into 2, turned into 3, and what happened was I was regularly doing sets of 10. And the effects were seismic. My back started to fill out and I wasn't even doing any other exercises on top. It was just the one exercise I was doing at that time. However, my back started to resemble the proverbial cobra's hood. It was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Now, chin-ups, like inverted rows, are something that you can also do in straight sets, or you can incorporate them between sets of whatever exercise you're doing. So for example, if I was doing the bench press, I would probably do 5 to 10 chin-ups in between sets. And then when I move on to my next exercise, I would repeat the process, because that volume is going to accumulate over time and your back can handle it. Your back is so sponge-like when it comes to high volume, so you can go for days with these exercises. However, that volume is going to add up over time and your back is just going to explode. You are going to be having to walk through doors sideways. Your arms will look like you are carrying 2 carpets under them. It is a phenomenal exercise, and in my opinion, it is the exercise which has the most profound physique effects. Now, I put out a poll and asked which exercise does have the most profound effect. People said burpees. However, I tend to disagree. I think chin-ups just hit the spot because you can see the back from that front angle. That is what fills out the width, and that is the first thing that catches your eye. Not the muscles that are coming out the way, the muscles that are coming out to the side. And that is why the chin-up has such a profound effect on your physique. The chin-up can also be loaded as well, because there will come a point where 10 sets of 10, 15, they're not going to cut the mustard, so you're going to have to buy a weight belt or a dipping belt and start adding weight into those bad boys. And then when you do so, those effects, which were already profound, are going to become even further amplified. You will look like a Concorde. Your wingspan will be of that of an albatross. It is a phenomenal exercise, and it's the exercise that if you are not doing, then you need to figure out how to get there. And once you are there, you need to sustain that exercise within your regime. So exercise number 2 on the overpowered list is the humble chin-up. Exercise number 3 is a bit of a wild card in some respects. Most people gravitate towards squats when it comes to the lower body. However, I tend to find that walking lunges are an absolute monster of an exercise, particularly when performed for high reps. Now, guys in the gym will probably do dumbbell lunges and they can get about 10-12 reps out before they need to give up. However, walking lunges, you can go up into the hundreds, and it is not only going to build leg muscle, but it is also going to increase conditioning at the same time. And it's also going to develop that ability to weather the storm, because it becomes a painful exercise over time. Once you've done about 50 lunges each leg, that burning effect is just going to take place and you cannot escape it. However, if you keep mustering on, then you are going to start to learn to enter the darkness, sustain the darkness, and master the darkness, because it is a painful exercise and it is taxing on the heart rate as well. When you incorporate walking lunges into, say, a burpee routine, it spikes the heart rate. And it's definitely an exercise which is not utilised as often as it should be in burpee routines. People tend to go more for the squat chaser. However, the lunge is definitely a more productive exercise in that respect, purely because I tend to find that squats are easier. The lunge requires a degree of balance and flexibility along with strength. So it's not just an exercise which is hitting one modality, but it's attacking you from all angles. Therefore, the walking lunge is also an exercise which you can incorporate in between sets in a weightlifting regime, or do something at the end of a leg day and try and hit some high numbers. I remember Paul Carter in particular, he used to promote walking lunges, and he had a program on T Nation which you would do 100 lunges and you would build up to 500 per leg. That's 1,000 lunges. That is a phenomenal amount of work. However, you know that if you can get to those numbers, then you are going to be sporting some nasty wheels. So number 3 on the overpowered list is the walking lunge. Exercise number 4 on the list is an absolute destroyer of the triceps and chest in particular. It is one of the exercises we hold dear to our hearts. It is the Navy SEAL burpee, however with a twist. We take the burpee element out of it and we just remain on the ground and just do the Navy SEAL push-up and just remain there until we go to failure. This was an exercise that I started implementing into my routine. I wanted to start hammering the chest and the triceps, and I knew that the biomechanics involved in the Navy SEAL push-up meant that full lockout was always achieved and full range of motion was always encouraged due to the nature of the legs coming up to the chest. And when you go to failure on these, particularly for 3 to 6 sets, you are going to be in a world of pain the next day. It is absolutely painful, the feeling that your triceps develop as it tries to deal with the damage that has occurred through doing this insanely beautiful but punishing exercise. Navy SEAL burpee push-ups can be incorporated within a chest day, or if you're doing a back day, for example, and you want to bring in some volume for the pushing muscles, you can start doing them between sets, because believe me, your triceps are going to resemble pineapples after a couple of months of performing this exercise. So exercise number 4 on the overpowered list is the Navy SEAL push-up, but without the burpee. Now exercise 5 is an exercise which is close to my heart. It's an exercise which covers a lot of bases. You've got a degree of conditioning in there, and you've got a degree of hypertrophy. It is the kick-out burpee. The kick-out burpee is a phenomenal exercise because, also like the Navy SEAL burpee, it encourages you to develop a full range of motion when performing the exercise. However, it also has a conditioning hit, which means that it's going to take your heart rate up and build a degree of work capacity, which is going to carry over into most activities you perform in the gym. A set of 25 unbroken kick-out burpees is going to destroy you. Even advanced guys will have trouble breaking out an unbroken set. And it's just because you are once again being attacked from all angles. Your heart rate starts to get spiked. Your legs and lower back start to feel a degree of fatigue. You have to incorporate that balance into the exercise as well. There's a degree of technique. However, the lockout is just going to promote the proximity to failure, which is conducive to muscular growth. It is definitely one of the most overpowered burpees out there, and it's one that should definitely be incorporated into your routine. So there you have it, guys. These are 5 exercises that you can implement into your bodyweight routine starting today in order to try and bring more work capacity into the mix, in order to try and induce more volume into your overall training program, and just turn you into that beast, that absolute monster that you desire to be. That is why we train, guys. That is why we do the stuff we do. We do it to build muscle, we do it to get fit, we do it to increase aerobic capacity, but we do it to become better individuals overall. Hopefully you guys incorporate these 5 exercises into your routine and experience the profound effects I did. If you've got any other exercises which you would like to share, feel free to drop it in the comments, let me know, and we'll get the debate happening. Anyway guys, thank you for staying strong, and thank you for staying conditioned.